Hello and welcome back to the CCNP and Core course. In today's session, we'll do a lab uh, on policing and shaping. So, our objective in this lab will be we'll generate a traffic through a routed path and then apply two different QoS tools: policing, which drops excess traffic, and shaping, which buffers and smooths excess traffic. So, the goal is to visually compare the behavior using iperf, which is the tool to generate the traffic, and then verify on the router using some show commands. So in this lab topology, I have two PCs or two IP terms nodes, which one will act on the left side. It will act as a iperf client, and another one will act as a on the right side. IP term 2 will act as a iperf server, and the two routers which we use for one router we will implement routing, another router will be just a transit router, that is R2. All the IP configuration has been done uh, as I have on the screen. Like between R1 and IP term 1, I have 192.168 1.0 configured, and between R1 and R2, I have 192.168 12.0/24 configured with .1 on R1 and .2 on R2. Similarly, between R2 and IP term 2, I have 192.168 2.0/24 configured with .1 on R2 and .2 on IP term 2. So all the routing and everything has been done. So the first thing what we need to do is we need to generate the traffic. So what I will do is I will generate a traffic from IP term 1. I will generate an 84 kbps traffic, but before that I need to enable the IP server on. I think it's already on. Okay. In case if you want to know what is the command, iperf3 -s is the command to turn on the the server will start listening for the traffic. So I'll go back to IP term 1 and then generate 80 kbps traffic. So our 80 kbps traffic has started generating. I will run it for 100 seconds. And then you can see here there is no drops. You can see here there are no drops. All the packets are being captured 80 kbps. Yeah. So now that we have verified the traffic is working fine, no drops have been observed. So what we'll do is first we'll start with implementing QoS. Okay. Sorry. In QoS, what you need to do is first I need to implement. First we need to configure class map. Okay. Not class map. First I need to configure access list. So the access list should include any, it should permit any UDP traffic. Okay, as we are generating UDP traffic, so we will match the IP address or traffic using any to any. So let's go ahead and configure this on R1. So we are applying the QoS here, like on R1 towards. So I will implement the QoS policy on F101/0 interface towards R2. So whatever the traffic is going outside this will be rate limited. So access list, let me match any to any. I have already implemented it. Then we need to call this access list in class map. So I will configure a class map with match all, and I will name it as test traffic. And then I will call this access list with the command match access group 101, as our access list name is 101. And then I will configure policy map. Okay, once you configure class map, then we need to configure policy map with name police test. And then I will call this class map which we just created, and then I will police the traffic. Okay, so in case if you don't know the command, I will configure it like this: police target bit rate. So we will limit it to 64,000 kbps. Oh. And then you need to define the burst size. I will mention it as a 8,000, and then you need to confirm action, always transmit. If it is below 64,000, transmit, and if it is above, then you have a lot of options. You can either mark down or drop. I will consider it as a drop. Now the uh, policy is configured. Now it's time to implement it on the interface. We'll implement it on the outgoing interface towards R2. So that interface is one interface fast Ethernet 1/0, and you apply it outbound towards R2. So service policy, the command is service policy output and police test. So what I will do is I will generate the traffic again, and now you will see the traffic is limited. We are sending 80 kbps, but the traffic is dropping now. As you can see, it is not allowing more than 64 kbps around. Yeah, so it's limiting the traffic. As you can see, the packet is being dropped. So this is one way to verify. Another way to verify is the command show policy map interface fast Ethernet 1/0. As you can see, the drops are being observed here. This is the class map which we created, and every 5 minutes it's capturing this, so the drops will increase. And we are, as you can see, we are policing at CIR of 64 kbps, and then burst size is 8,000. So as of now, you can see confirm 174 packet, exceeded 45 packets and dropped 7,000. Confirm, I mean, if you can see here the drop percentage and everything. So this will keep on increasing. As you can see, this confirms our policing is working. We already observed the drops increasing and then throughput limited. So the next step we will do is we'll remove the policing so that we can start configuring for shaping. So what I will do is I'll go under the interface and remove this FA1/0. So now if I generate the traffic, as you can see, this should allow all the traffic. As you can see, once we remove, the traffic is back to normal. Now the next step is to configure shaping. To configure shaping, I will use the same class map which we use for policing, but I will create another policy map, that is shape test, and then I will call the same class map in which we call the access list, and then I will shape the traffic at 64 kbps, and the command for that is shape average 64 kbps, and then I will implement it under the interface FA1/0, and I will apply it under this. This is the command to apply the policy map, and then we will generate the traffic again. And this time you should be able to see the traffic is not dropped, but it is being already, like, it is already reduced to around 57 to 69, that is around 64 kbps average. And the same thing you can observe using the command show policy map interface. If you see here, now before the policing was configured, now if you see, shaping is configured, queue limit 64 packets, and then if you see, it's shaping at the average of 64 kbps, you can see, and you can see queue depth and everything, all the parameters. Now let's see again. Okay, still the traffic is fine, there is no drops. If you see, previously on QoS the traffic was dropping, but here if you see, it's not dropping. Let's stop this traffic and I'll show you. If you, this was before, this was shaping, right, and this was policing. In policing, if you see, the traffic is dropping, but in shaping the traffic is limited but it is not dropping. That is the difference in policing and shaping. In shaping, if you see less drops, I think like no drops, then queuing behavior you can see, and then traffic is much smoother. That's it for this session. I hope this was informative for you. If you have any queries, do let me know. I'll be more than happy to answer your queries. And please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.